Hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the full moon reading for July 16th. What's going to be in store for us? And I have to tell you, Mercury retrograde is in effect. I was halfway through this video and I got interrupted, lost the entire video, have to redo it. I'm just trusting that's divine timing and those weren't the messages we were supposed to get. But if you're experiencing this, I mean, seriously maintain your sense of humor, breathe through it. Mercury retrograde is affecting everything, and when I say everything, oh my gosh. And if you haven't checked out my Mercury retrograde, how to stay in divine flow with this retrograde period reading that I just did yesterday, definitely check it out, because I've been relying on that video so much already for guidance, for support, because excuse me, my goodness, I mean, you just have to stay as zen as possible. It just feels anything that can go wrong does, and you just have to breathe through it. So definitely check out that Mercury retrograde video, because that was so helpful to me personally. Also, I was planning on doing the weekly reading that I usually do, which I am going to do after this, where I do the tarot cards, energy, spirit message. But they said, no, do this first. So I listened and I did this first, and then I lost the whole video. So I'm a little, it's Mercury retrograde. And then we have tons of energy, planet energy, and then on the 16th we have the full moon. So they want me to pull some moon cards. Let's see what the moon, how we can harness this moon. What is this moon going to bring up for us? Crazy energy going on right now. Just crazy energy. We have to ride through it. I do have to say, they gave me the image this morning. This was so wild. I was thinking of putting in the message in my weekly reading, which I might do as well, but I'll mention it here. Picture looking at the water, and you're looking at the out into the deep ocean, and you see waves, right? But the waves, they look like shark fins. So you think that they're shark fins coming at you, and you start reacting like they're shark fins. You know how the waves sometimes look like sharks? They're saying it's waves. You might be looking at things and reacting to things thinking like it's a shark, you know, like all ominous, like you have to brace yourself, you have to react a certain way, blah blah. But it's not. It's a wave. It's going to pass. It's nothing. It's the energy of right now, and between this full moon now coming in, brace your seatbelts, maintain your balance, come back to you. Nothing's worth overreacting to. It's just a moment in time. Whatever happens, if it has to be redone, it gets redone. You know, if you have to recheck, redo a million times, things going crazy, everybody's feeling it. Have more compassion for yourself and others. They keep saying that over and over. And don't get stuck in a moment of feeling. Just as quickly as it comes, let it go. Don't waste your energy or emotion or reaction. It's not a shark. You don't have to react like it's a shark coming at you. It's a wave. It's a stupidity energy wave of Mercury retrograde. And now we have this full moon coming, July 16th. I want to know what the effects are going to be for us. What is this moon all about? Why are we having this now? Why is this set up where we have Mercury retrograde? Now we have a full moon on the 16th. Tell us, what is this moon? What are the messages July 16th moon, full moon energy is going to have for all of us who catch this video? Oh, geez, calm down. They're going to get specific. Okay, maybe that's why the video was lost. Maybe, that wasn't the message. Oh, you can't make this up. Your commitment is being tested. Yeah. Balance. Did I just not say about balance? Balance, spirituality, and practicality. I mean, we are being tested right now with this Mercury retrograde. Our patience is definitely being, our trust is definitely, because we have to trust in divine timing. Our patience, I'm not a patient person. I'm totally being tested. Also, your commitment to things, because when things go crazy or not as planned, it's almost like testing you. Like you could throw up your hands and say, I don't even want to do it anymore. Why am I doing this? Blah, blah. You know, it's, know that don't make any wild, crazy decisions right now from an extreme emotional place. Balance your spirituality with practicality. Almost like that image, you know, I said balance yourself when you're looking at the water and it looks like a shark fin, but it's really just water. Remind yourself it's just water. Anything that goes crazy, if you start making these crazy judgments on your entire life or what you're doing, Realize it's the moment, it's Mercury retrograde, it's moon energy, it's planet energy. Balance what you're feeling and thinking with some spirituality and some practicality. Bring it back down, ground yourself, get balanced. If your thoughts are going crazy, like, why am I even doing this? Why am I even with this person? Why am I even doing this? Look at my job, look at my relationship, look at this, that. Just practice spirituality partnered with practicality. Know that there's a lot of moon energy going on. There's a lot of retrograde action going on. Your commitment to things are being tested. You don't want to make rash decisions right now. Everything you're committed to right now, it's still in the process of almost being in the works. You don't want to throw up your hands. You don't want to make crazy decisions right now. Stay grounded, stay balanced. I really think, like they said, ride the wave. Like, and also know that it's not a shark; it's a water. It's the energy right now. Just bring it back. I've already been tested with that multiple times, almost back to back at every angle. Everything that can be changed is being changed. Everything that's being ruined can be ruined. Everything that has to be redone has to be redone. It's this Mercury retrograde is really playing havoc, and it brings up a lot, and even things from the past that you haven't thought of in a long time brings up. It's almost like your commitment to spirituality and practicality is being tested on all your senses. It's like if something happens, no matter what area of your life, it's almost like, to maintain the balance. Just remember spirituality and practicality. Be grounded, come back to you, come back to your balance. That's what I'm really feeling. If your commitment's being tested, I mean, you almost have to laugh with that because it is. Oh, jeez, but prosperity lies ahead. Okay, so they want to give us a nice little outcome here. Prosperity lies ahead. The abundance is coming. That has been coming up again and again. We could be going through tremendous release, redoing, reassessing right now. Your commitment to things are being tested. But if you maintain that balance of spirituality and practicality, you can see yourself through these energies. And in the end, knowing prosperity and abundance is yours. So just get through this period. If you feel like you're being tested in some way, the way to get through it, the connective part, is maintain balance and practicality. And definitely stay balanced through this whole thing. Just keep it trucking. Let go of anything that's riling you up as quick as it comes. Remember, it's not a shark fin, it's water. Don't come from a place of extreme reactions or judgments right now. Have extreme compassion for yourself and others. Your commitment is tested. I mean, that almost makes me laugh. I've never really seen that card come up before. It's kind of like, yeah, seriously, you think? Because it is almost a moment to moment. You're going to be so irritated. I just have to give you a warning. You're going to be so irritated. It's almost like anything that could be mixed up or change will be. Things that could go wrong will be. It's that Mercury retrograde. And so it's kind of like anything you're involved with is being tested. And you just got to remain balanced. Remain balanced through it all. And just know the big picture view is prosperity lies ahead. This is not all in vain. So whatever is happening right now is not all in vain. It's not. And are there any other messages? Or maybe I'll pull some Queen of the Moon and see what kind of additional advice we can get. Because I think this is it. This is the main thing. This is also the bridge to literally balancing this, is balance your spirituality and practicality. Because if you are literally being tested, this is pretty funny. If you're being tested, know that on the other side of that, prosperity does lie ahead. So you just want to remain as practical and balanced and within your own energy and back to love and peace within yourself. Just know in the long run, this is your long-term view. So don't pay too much attention to what's coming out, being tested right now. You have to redo something. You have to change something. You have to have more patience. You have to trust the process. It's taking longer. Those kind of things. Things are going to just ride it. Just ride it. At the end of this, there is prosperity ahead. Just maintain your balance. And don't get lost in the moment of your reactions or your judgments or your assessments on things. Your commitments being tested. I mean, that's just too funny. So it's like whatever's coming up in your mind or heart or anything, just let it go as quickly as it comes. your emotional reactions to things also. This is interesting. Now I'm pulling Queen of the Moon Oracle. Literally feel like Queen of the Moon. Harness that moon energy. Own your power over it. Like you can still, for waves coming at you, you can decide how you're going to go through the wave. It's like maintain the power where you can. Where it lies is balancing your spirituality with practicality, because you can say, yes, okay, so the planets or the moon or whatever retrograde, it is literally affecting my life with making things go wrong, or it's riling feelings up in me, but I still do have the power to reel it back in and balance myself. I can still focus that my prosperity lies at the end of this. I don't have to be hanging out down here, being overly frustrated at whatever is occurring right now, because where my power lies is maintaining the balance and the practicality of it all, that you have a longer view, a bigger vision. It's just a period of time. So what's the Queen of the Moon? As we harness Queen of the Moon energy, where does our power lie? Like what is there a Queen of the Moon message for us as we're getting this full moon right with all this other action going on. Mercury retrograde, tons of planets doing other things within all of our charts right now. Lots of cleansing out, getting ready for the next wave of energy that we're going to be doing. The new, the better. Let's see. Because I do feel like this is a lot of prepping for the next wave. But let's see. Queen of the Moon, as we harness this moon energy, no matter how it makes us feel. I want to see what the crowning cards of this moon reading. Why did you tell me to pull this deck? What is the message for anyone who catches this video? Wow. We have hunger and we have fear. This is really interesting because I've been getting a lot about our fears of things are getting kicked up and cleared out so that we can go forward. And this card also came out too on the bottom. This is really weird. Assessing. I think we're like, I think we're also assessing how fear gets in our way of hunger for our life. I just want to I want to look up fear. This is really interesting to me because this really has been such obstacles for us. And it's 11, the card 11, which is significant too. We really have to clear out fear. It's like we almost react to a place of fear a lot. This is just interesting to me. Waxing moon, fear. Let's see what this says. I just find this really interesting because this is the time for courage is here. This is what's really interesting, and probably that's why we're being tested too. Fear is only useful if it teaches you something. You must examine whether your fears are old or new, useful or unhelpful. Fear blocks flow. Yeah, and the message is I'm courageous. And so it's saying if there's one thing that stops people from fulfilling their dreams or even getting things done that they want done, it is fear. Experiencing fear is built in, a chemical part of the brain that works to protect us. Emotions such as fear cause the production of a whole raft of body chemicals that give us the best chance of coping with situations that need our attention to survive. There is a healthy kind of fear, the kind that wants us to keep us, out of a dangerous situation or stay clear of someone who instinctively makes us very wary. But, however, it would be a rare person who does not have at least one fear that doesn't serve them, and a fear that is unrealistic or untrue or somehow based on an outmoded experience or something that's buried so deeply we only see the symptoms rather than the fear itself. Most fears have been formed with a positive intent of protection. We need to separate that intention out and deal with it in a more resourceful and less destructive way if we're to create ease and flow in our lives. Fear has many names. Covert ones are envy, jealousy, codependency, procrastination, bullying, people-pleasing, disconnection. More overt ones are avoidance, fear of failure, or fear of success. There is, however, a kind of antidote to fear, and it is courage. Fear will put up an initial resistance to courage, but it has no real long-term power against it. While we can be fearful and courageous at the same time, I think courage contains a mighty big dose of fear. We can choose to face that fear and flow through it until we fear less, and then eventually become fearless. The process isn't always graceful. It also isn't always impressive, because it may be slow and deliberate steps we take, but taking those steps, it's not always easy, which is an understatement. It isn't always apparent on others. So it should be about us measuring how far we have come and not worrying about what anyone else thinks. Comparison is useless. Courage is powerful no matter what form it takes. And we are releasing so much of our fears also. We're also going to be knowing that we're not going to be putting up with much fear that's going to be blocking our ways to the prosperity ahead. I think there is a hunger in us that has been ignited. I'm curious, I won't read the whole thing, but I'm getting that this hunger within us for more, for better, for more, we're not going to be we're releasing a lot of fears and a lot of old records. Like I just said with that image I got of us in the hamster wheel, going in that hamster wheel over and over, and with different places, circumstances, situations. And we're tired of getting the same results. And so we're not only getting off the wheel, but we're getting out of the cage and kicking it to the wall. It's this hunger. I almost feel like it's a divine hunger in us that's making us do that, and really addressing and facing those fears and almost howling them away. It's not going to stop us anymore. We're assessing how maybe that has stopped us, and also assessing, once we do follow our genuine hunger, our divine guidance, our divine insides, being more aligned with the truth of who we are facing those fears and assessing farther now. You can assess farther. You can go farther and higher without these fears blocking you. That's really what I'm saying. Yeah. And when I look at the actual, I mean, that's what I got intuitively. But here, the hunger, it definitely says, feel the good and hope within you. There will always be a lean part of the cycle. Prosperity will come. Here, we got another prosperity. Prosperity will come. With this prosperity card also came out. That's the big picture, the long view here. And the key message of this is, I recognize all that I hunger for. Yeah. Wow. I mean, this is really, I recognize all that I hunger for. As old and wise Cherokee of the First Nations of the U.S. is speaking to his grandson about life, the young boy asks his grandfather, "It is said, grandfather, that everyone has two wolves within them. The first wolf gives darkness, despair, hate, and jealousy and sorrow. The second wolf gives light, hope, helpfulness, and kindness. Yet, grandfather, I feel them fighting within me. What can I do?" And the wise Cherokee says, "My small son, these two wolves will always fight, and they will fight within each person. You are no different." But he said to his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" And the grandfather answers, "Whichever wolf you feed." Oh my God, I have chills. We must be careful about what we nourish and feel within us and feed within us. If we give abundance to the aspects of the self that can harm others and ourselves, then we cannot truly thrive. Having no limitations upon these behaviors and patterns hurts us and starves the higher and finer parts of ourselves that will bring us more happiness. To ripple that happiness to others is part of why we're on the planet. We must also recognize that in life, just because it's a cycle, there will always be leaner, less abundant, or less bright times. Yet we have built our resilience and self-trust for times like this, and we know we are both loved and protected. The cycle will soon turn to less shadow and more bounty. Oh my gosh. Do you believe this? Your commitment is being tested. We have two wolves inside of us, but we're staying aligned with the true light of our soul here that's going to face our fears of this moment, of this, what's coming, what we're feeling right now. And it's this assessment of aligning ourselves with releasing those fears, those obstacles within us, that the hunger within our insides will outshine almost whatever's getting kicked up now. And make sure to feed the positive within yourself. When your commitment is being tested, feed the correct wolf within inside you that does not inflate more fear, but actually lowers your fear of the obstacles. That is the balance of spirituality and practicality, right? You want to feed the right wolf within inside you, your divine insides, your divine light, your divine spirit. You don't want to come from the place of fear, of anger, of frustration, of doubt, of being negative judgments to yourself and what you're doing, or kicking up all the old stories. Like that hamster wheel, doesn't she almost look like she's literally on a wheel? Oh my god, and there's a cage. There's nothing in the cage. She's out of the cage. Do you see that? I mean, like my hamster wheel, like in a cage. We're not just getting off the wheel. We're out of the cage. That's so weird. It looks like she's on a wheel. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we're releasing all the fears that have held us back. We're feeding ourselves with the correct things. And this was, oh my gosh. I mean, I hope it's all coming across because it's pretty amazing. Because if you look at the hunger, our commitment is being tested. It's within us to remain feeding the correct self-talk, getting all of that balance, spirituality and practicality. We're getting rid of the fear, anything that stops us, all the obstacles, right? Prosperity lies ahead. That's what we're assessing. That's the long-term view. That's getting the higher perspective, right? That the prosperity is here. So we're letting go right now. This is the cycle of what's happening here. It's this hunger within us, knowing that, getting more aligned with ourselves, no matter what the energies are swirling around us. That's why we're tested. It's not always easy. It's not always riding the wave of positive, fabulous energy. It's when everything's getting kicked up, all the old darkness shit that's inside of us, excuse my French. But that's when you really stand strong. That's when you really get firmer, grounded, and balanced. And it's almost like a fight to maintain that balance, spirituality, practicality, right? Because you have the long-term view and a higher perspective that prosperity lies ahead. Your abundance is there for you. And these old fears are not going to be holding you back anymore. What would be playing over and over, you're creating a new cycle now. That's what's coming in here once we get past this energy. That really is. So ride this Mercury retrograde. This full moon is now bringing divine new cycles in, I feel, really honestly. And it's a lot of letting go of old stories, old fears that would ordinarily stop us. And instead of this howling thing within us, if we put it this way, right? So it's been ignited within us. Look at this huge moon. Picture this moon is igniting on you, this hunger to release the fear and go higher, assess farther in your life, right? Of all your goals and achievements, because this is just your commitment being tested. The fear is released by balancing spirituality and practicality. And you are assessing your long-term view, because keeping in mind this whole time, this whole journey, prosperity and abundance lies ahead for you. So whenever your commitment's being tested with anything, whenever your insides, whenever your mind or your heart, your soul, whatever is getting kicked up and you feel tested in the moment, just balance yourself with spirituality and practicality and pretend you've got this higher view with a telescope. You're bigger and larger than the moment. Prosperity and abundance is yours because you're clearing out continuously. We continuously, I don't think we're ever truly healed with the fears or the stories we play up in our minds and hearts. I just don't. I know cards come out, complete healing, but I mean, it doesn't matter how complete healing you think, you still get those old head stories playing out, those old doubts, those fears that come up. And we're not only getting off the wheel, we're getting out of the cage and throwing it to the wall, because this is a time to create new things in your life going forward without those same obstacles. You're not to have them anymore. So know that abundance and prosperity is at the end of it. Maintain your balance, spirituality, and practicality through this. Anytime your commitment is being tested, remember to feed the correct wolf within you, to always continuously release that fear, whatever's getting kicked up, because that prosperity and abundance is yours coming. So that has been the moon reading for the full moon, July 16th. I'm about to post the overall weekly reading, and I also posted the I can't even say the words, talk about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, how to stay in the divine flow. that I already posted and have already been relying on because it gave great advice and guidance to get through the whole month. Anytime your commitment's being tested, what to fall back on to maintain that balance of spirituality and practicality, to not jeopardize or lose the bigger sight of your just prosperity and abundance that is coming in for you. Okay, take care. Bye bye.